Magazine's lead education reporter, alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
Temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.
Join Time Mag.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the first experimental primary school of Pyrgos, we are very happy and grateful to the T4 to have this platform and opportunity to share with you how we achieve excellence on global citizenship and how we promote our an inclusive school culture. Let me just share my screen for a moment. Within the next hour, we will be exploring how we can empower our students to fulfill their full potential by encouraging them to develop the knowledge, skills, and values they need to engage with the world. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Sofia Kouzouli. I am a teacher of English at the first experimental primary school of Pyrgos. I have a degree in English language and literature from the University of Athens and a master's degree in TEFL from the Hellenic Open University. I am an eTwinning ambassador and I have coordinated a number of multilateral European school projects in our school. I've been with our school since 2010. Joining us to explore this topic is Ms. Marianthi Kotadaki. Marianthi is a teacher of English. She holds a PhD from the University of Patras, a master's degree in ESL teaching, and a degree in English language and literature from the University of Athens. She has been a school advisor and has organized and participated in a series of seminars, workshops, and conferences at a local, regional, and international level. Our next panelist is Ms. Ekaterini Tsami. Ekaterini studied physical education and sports science in Athens University. She has a master's degree in exercise and quality of life from Democritus University, Thrace, and a master's degree in educational sciences from the Hellenic Open University. She has worked as a swimming coach in many clubs, teaching kids of various ages and level for over a decade. She has been teaching school physical education for more than 20 years, and her motto is set a goal and go for it. Also joining us is Mr. Spiros Lazaropoulos. Spiros is the ICT teacher of our school and has a degree in informatics from the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. He holds a master's degree in computational mathematics and ICT in education from the University of Patras and a master's degree in computer science concerning domain-specific languages from the University of the Peloponnese. He has been with our school since 2018. Before we start our conversation, let me just give you an idea of the context of our school community. The first primary school of Pyrgos, recently named the first experimental primary school of Pyrgos, is a state school. There are about 350 students in our school. There are Greek pupils and pupils from other countries such as Albania, Moldavia, Romania, and Russia, as well as Roma pupils. Pupils with special needs who spend most of their time in regular classes and receive the help of an additional special education teacher. An integration class where more intensive and individualized instructional sessions are held is also working in our school. There are about 30 teachers, and there are some teachers who have been working with the first experimental primary school for a long time. Our school has participated in almost 30 eTwinning projects under the umbrella of Erasmus+, community partnerships, and global projects. The students of our school have participated in national general knowledge, literature and mathematics school competitions, and in several actions initiated by various associations conducting relief work in Greece and abroad. The collaborations we have done with our students and all our activities aim to help empowering our students to achieve global citizenship, to respect the universal values such as peace and sustainability, and to uphold the human rights and dignity of all people. Namely, to enable our children to achieve their full potential for the whole world, for the social good. Our school is an active member of the eTwinning community. The eTwinning community is the main action of the European Commission's e-learning program. It is operated by the European SchoolNet, an international partnership of 34 European ministries of education, developing learning for schools, teachers and pupils across Europe. eTwinning is further supported at national level by 38 national support organizations. eTwinning gives the platform for twin space, which is actually a virtual classroom, and helps learners to collaborate and interact both synchronously and asynchronously, and helps teachers to continue teaching, learning, and the evaluation process, something which was very important during the school lockdown due to COVID-19 restrictions. Our school, since 2010, has a long-standing tradition on collaborative projects, thanks to eTwinning, starting with a very successful comenius partnership with 10 other countries, European Friends Traditional Choice and Games. In 2018, we worked on the Monumental Europe project, focusing on multiculturalism and education. The project was awarded the Award for Cultural Heritage by the European Commission, and the collaborating countries worked in national and transnational groups, and we empowered our children to become aware of the tangible, intangible, and digital European cultural heritage. We produced many collaborative products, and our students were helped to develop key competencies to become autonomous, creative, sociable, and communicative, encouraging them to become active citizens. The next year, we worked on the project We Are Art, focusing on arts in education. 6 European countries devised an alphabet with meaningful messages about sustainability. Our result was an e-book which was shared among the participants, as well as meaningful discussions about waste prevention and selection. Honing our teamwork and language skills were some of the added benefits. The project won the first prize in the European Week for Waste Reduction. The year when 2020, when the COVID-19 broke out, we were working with our students on the Women Who Changed the World project, focusing on education and gender equality. Students were, the suspension of face-to-face instruction in school was helped by the eTwinning project and our project-based learning, as it was used to offer students digitally supported learning experiences with innovative approaches and a variety of tools. It was very important that there was an interactive wall in our project where we published messages of hope and health to all our partners and all the people who suffered due to COVID-19 symptoms and effects. Last year, we worked on the Adventures of Olympic Musketeers, an eTwinning project which focused on the Olympic spirit and the Olympic values. The Adventures of Olympic Musketeers was a collaborative project, and students participated in national and transnational activities, and deconstructed knowledge developing from an intercultural dialogue, developed mascots which embodied the sports spirit and identified core skills. They made presentations, wrote haiku poems, made handicraft, and participated in the Olympic Orizuru peace action. Last year again, we had our Gaia's Buddies project, which was focused on STEM. Students focused on the world's most pressing challenge, climate change. They made real-world connections through STEM, exploring, questioning, and inquiring. We were also granted 2 robot kits by STEM Education for this project. Our students also worked on Let's Go Eco eTwinning project. The project was designed as a way to cultivate an ecological mindset, focusing on education for sustainable development. We helped our students to develop digital competencies for sustainable development, and they created collaborative ebooks, quizzes, questionnaires. They worked on e-safety, both on our online classes and in our school, in our face-to-face instruction. The project was designed, last year we also had a project designed, the Coals project, which was designed as a way to cultivate we also worked on the Goals project, which was designed as a hybrid project focused on hybrid learning due to COVID restrictions, and it aimed at focusing on a more holistic approach to education, creating a better world for this generation and for the future generations. It was a global project which enabled our learners to acquire the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values necessary to shape a sustainable future. Sorry. In this project, we did our We Give Peace a Chance action, which was focused on resources, on a learning scenario based on resources from the Europeana. Europeana is the web portal created by the European Union containing digitized cultural heritage collections. Students explored the real-world issue of peace and conflict, discovered the stories of Anne Frank and Malala Yousafzai, and they contributed constructively, assuming responsibility and achieving a common goal. They were also asked to present their work on Sustainable Development Goal 16 in the global community on the Day of Solutions live event on March 4th, giving them a global perspective and impact of their work. Since 2017, our school has been participating on the Global Action of Climate Action project, focusing on climate action through education. We help our students explore the causes and effects of climate change and have the opportunity to develop solutions and take action. Thus, with all our collaborative projects and partnerships, we help our students to develop skills for the future, to develop creativity, empathy, real-world problem solving, media literacy, critical thinking, their collaborative skills, intercultural communication, and we focus on a democratic culture at school, an inclusive school. Now, let me move on to our next panelist, Mrs. Marianthi Kotadaki. Marianthi, how can teachers use technology pedagogically in their teaching practices at school to foster the skills of communication and collaboration? Can you please elaborate on that issue?
Thank you, Sophia, and congratulations on your great accomplishments. Please let me know whether my presentation is on.
Yes, we will inform you in a moment. Thank you. Now it is on. We can see. We can clearly see everything.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm happy and honored to be part of this panel. So I will share with you some thoughts regarding the pedagogical role of technology in the current educational context. First of all, we need to remember that the educational context mirrors the broader social one. So, as Europeans and global citizens, as you said before, we are sharing a culturally heterogeneous world, which is daily undergoing vital geopolitical, economic, and technological changes, while at the same time facing serious economic, environmental, and cultural menaces. So to safeguard our individual and collective growth, it is essential that we are equipped with the knowledge, the skills, and the values that promote, as you marvelously said, knowledge sharing, intercultural communication, and social cohesion. Apart from that, as educators, we are prompted to equip our students with a wide range of competencies in order to prepare them to successfully handle the forthcoming unforeseen challenges and prospects. Yes, it is true that digital competence is at the core of this fast-changing world and crucial for survival and participation in it. And there are several reasons for that. It is believed that technology can mobilize the students' higher level thinking skills, teaching the users not just what, but how to think, not just to gain knowledge, but how to apply knowledge. Engaging the next generation of our students into the use of the media they are already based in is not only streaming the real world into the classroom, but it is also a vehicle for constructivist learning. Digital technology is also an avenue for the exploration of different cultures and therefore for cross-cultural understanding. And as such, it is also an avenue for participation in the globalized world. Besides, sharing different experiences, different thinking styles, and different cognitive abilities makes the digital world a springboard of emotional, value-based, transformative learning. Therefore, it has been beyond doubt that technology-enhanced education contexts can truly turn the mundane into marvelous. So coming back to your question, let us now say that if digital competence is to serve its groundbreaking role, it needs to become pedagogically integrated in the learning process. Teachers need to exploit the potential of the digital resources and services in such a way that students can experience their powerful impact and develop the skills, the knowledge, and the values above all that contemporary global citizens need to have. And here are some axes along which teachers can harness the pedagogical possibilities of new technologies. First, using topic-based written and audiovisual material, not only as direct source of information, but as you said before, as an incentive for the students to resolve complex and open-ended problems, can offer the students real-life experiences. It can also develop in them responsibility, initiative, and appreciation of different thinking styles. Then, creating opportunities for our students for virtual communication, either within or beyond cultural boundaries, can stimulate international multicultural communication. It can also establish communities. It can facilitate free exchange of ideas, and it can enable the students to interpret cultural differences and relate them to their own, which are all, of course, traits of the interculturally competent individual. Apart from that, maintaining the experiential, learner-centered character of technology-mediated activities, where students, as you've marvelously showed, construct digital artifacts like web-published newsletters, digital stories, video narratives, and so on. Teachers can foster knowledge sharing, cross-cultural collaboration, and reflective decision-making. Providing a narrative medium to present students with critical situations can evoke empathy and reflection, and also help them change their own attitude, their own values, and their own behavior. Last but not least, encouraging technology-mediated expression, either for chatting or gaming purposes, or for pure lesson purposes, helps our students to visualize the complexities of face-to-face cross-cultural interactions, fosters reflection and respect, and facilitates knowledge sharing and cultural enrichment. So, taking my thoughts to an end, and before I give the floor to you, Sophia, I would like to say that the world our students will live and work in will be fundamentally different from the world we live and work in. So preparing them to become active citizens lies totally in our hands. All we need to do is attune our practices to the needs, the opportunities, and the values the future opens up to all of us. Thank you for today.
Thank you, Marianthi. Thank you, Ms. Marianthi Kotadaki, for your insightful presentation on the key concept of teaching practices and what we should have in mind when teaching our learners and wanting to empower our learners. Indeed, being a student in the developing globalized world is a challenge. And as you superbly said, the pedagogical application of technological competencies can create opportunities for our students and can help them develop the key competencies and enable them to become modern European citizens, modern global citizens. Thank you, Ms. Marianthi Kotadaki, for your marvelous presentation. Indeed, very important points that we should all have in mind, all teachers and all educators. Thank you indeed. Now, let's move on to our next panelist, to our colleague at school, Ms. Ekaterini Tsami. Ekaterini, what are the methods that PE teachers can use to contribute to the overall development of our students, to the whole child development? What are the methods you use at school, and what can teachers do to achieve the whole child development?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our fellows worldwide. Thank you, Sophia, for this invitation. I'm very happy to be a part of this school celebration. And give me just a few minutes to upload my presentation. I think in a few seconds I'll be ready. Okay, now I'm ready to answer your question. Of course, physical education has been implemented into school curricula the world over because of its great significance to a child's development. Quality physical education programs mainly aim to physical fitness. Through a PE lesson, we provide our students with opportunities to develop strength, endurance, flexibility, as well as to obtain motor and movement skills, ensuring that they are able to perform competently in numerous physical activities and sports and be qualified with abilities needed to be physically active for a life. Adaptation of an active lifestyle and maintenance of healthy habits in adulthood is our main goal. The period of school closures due to COVID-19 pandemic was very challenging for all PE teachers. We had to encourage our students to remain active as well as to invent activities that could be completed indoors with safety. We carefully designed workouts using plenty of joyful activities to overcome consequences of a sedentary status. Common household objects such as cans, bottles, school backpacks, marks on the floor, patterns on the carpet were our equipment. Even teddy bears and small toys were used for skipping, jumping, and hopping activities. But there is more to this aspiration than breaking students out of a stationary lifestyle. Physical education classes teaches children skills that they will use throughout their entire lives, a multitude of cognitive, mental, and social skills. In a PE lesson, we carefully guide students to set and achieve personal goals, learn about their abilities, aptitudes, limitations, and potentials. In this way, PE helps promote self-confidence, self-esteem, self-discipline, and self-respect. Being privileged to live nearby ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the Olympic Games, we often use not only myths that our learners are familiar with, but also stories of athletes of the modern Olympic Games to teach values and virtues. We consider value education of great significance. So, positive values such as honesty, justice, cooperation, sportsmanship are placed at the heart of the curricula and taught within every lesson. Furthermore, being a member of a team sport teaches students how to work towards a common goal, enhances communication and negotiation practices, helps learners to invent ways to resolve conflicts, to act responsibly and contribute effectively to groups. We strongly believe that using approaches that engage the body, mind, as well as the spirit, we encourage our students to become better people with not only their physical development, but also their holistic development, character, and resilience as they participate in games, sports, and athletic activities. Thus, a sound mind in a sound body is achieved throughout PE programs. Overall, we strongly support that using appropriate practices and strategies, we should emphasize on developing the curious, creative, caring, empathetic, and resilient, confident selves of children empowered to fulfill its potential. So, Sophia, these are the methods we use to contribute to the overall development of our students.
Thank you, Ekaterini. Thank you very much for your beautiful presentation and how thank you very much for your beautiful presentation and the teaching practices you use in your lesson to help our learners develop self-confidence, self-respect, to achieve their personal goal, as you so nicely put it. Indeed, teaching PE guides learners to set a goal and try to achieve it. And indeed, there are so many key competencies that can be developed through physical education, like the negotiation skills you beautifully mentioned, which are very important in their future for our learners, and the positive values we can learn through participating in physical education classes, the sportsmanship that you mentioned, so many important concepts, so many positive habits that they can use in their life at present and in the future. A healthy mind in a healthy body, indeed, and we are privileged to be living near ancient Olympia, where the ancient Olympic Games were held, and we are inspired by this. Thank you very much, Ekaterini. I forgot to mention something in the beginning, that some housekeeping rules. Okay, sorry for not letting you know earlier. You should know that in our event there is a Q&A box. There you can ask your questions so that we can see them in case you have any questions. And there is also a chat box where you can post your comments in case you want to post something for our presentation and us. There is also, you should know that there is also our Twitter accounts that you could connect with us, and you could use the hashtag WorldEduWeek, where you could post, with which you could post your comments for our presentation. Let me just recapitulate, let me just try to summarize what we have been sharing with our panel today, with Mrs. Ekaterini Tsami, Ms. Marianthi Kotadaki, and our ICT teacher, Mr. Spiros Lazaropoulos, who is supporting us today and every day in our school. Let me just share my screen and go back to our presentation. Yes. Okay, so we said that we can, through the integration of our collaborative European projects and global projects, through the pedagogical application of technology in our classes, through the physical education classes at school, we can achieve global citizenship, we can enable our learners become modern European citizens, modern global citizens. But what are the takeaways from our session? What each one of us shared today and have been doing every day in our classes. And we are representing a big school with a long tradition in the town of Pyrgos, because at this moment there are about 30 teachers in our school and are doing their lesson. They are having their lessons there with our students, and they would be very eager to be with us and share their view and their knowledge, their expertise. So from our presentation today, there are some takeaways. We would like to give you some takeaways. First of all, educational partnerships and collaborations on a European and global level can offer our learners amazing learning experiences, and they can create a vibrant collaborative classroom and ignite learners to pursue genuine and sustainable success in what they do and develop key competencies for their lives, for the future, for their future. Secondly, the integration of global goals for sustainable development in our teaching practices can help students be ready to address sustainable development challenges in the future and be actually the agents of change, enabling our students to have a voice, enabling our students to be the ones who will bring the change in our society. Thirdly, the use of ICT applications and web tools in our lessons can shape a modern, engaging, interactive, and exciting learning environment. Fourthly, focusing on a whole child approach, a sound body, remember, a sound body in a sound mind, in a sound body, can be achieved through school PE programs, providing learners with appropriate instruction practices to develop creative, empathetic, and confident students, to empower them to fulfill their potential. And finally, our fifth takeaway is to engage students in reflective practices. Engaging students in reflecting on what they are learning, on how they are learning it, why they are learning it, why they are doing the things we do in our classes, makes them be fully engaged in this learning. Students then can be empowered to make sense of their own learning, to make meaning from their experience, and to develop resilience. So these are, in a few words, the 5 takeaways from our session. At this point, I would like to thank Ms. Marianthi Kotadaki. Thank you, Marianthi, for being with us on our panel this morning.
Thank you, Sophia, and the rest of the people for your kind invitation. And closing in for today, please let me just remind our people that as teachers nowadays are actually, as you said, assigned a very difficult and challenging task. And with the the marvelous examples you just shared with us, Katerina's examples, Sophia's examples, and the rest of the teachers, the goals can be achieved and the future can be promising. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kotadaki. Thank you, Ms. Katerini Tsami, for joining us and sharing us your knowledge and expertise.
Thank you, Sophia, for this invitation. I'm very happy to be a part of this worldwide school celebration and hope that through our lessons we are a step to make pupils and learners become better people for the whole society. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Spiros Lazaropoulos. Thank you, Spiro, for supporting our event, for helping us at school every day with the application of ICT, of the web tools in our classes.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience to share our work with you as part of this global celebration. Farewell.
Huge thanks to Vika Spota for empowering us to host this event, the world's largest education conference. Most heartfelt thanks to Kirsten Thompson for supporting us all through this period before the event, with sending us every little detail about it. Special thanks to Daniel and Omer for their help, and of course to the whole T4 education community for helping us, sharing our expertise and knowledge. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching us, for being with us today. We represent, the four of us today represent a big school with a long-standing tradition in Pyrgos, and we are very proud to be representing the first experimental primary school of Pyrgos. You can get in touch with our school through our emails, through the school website. We would be more than happy to share our practices with you and collaborate with you. Dear all, it has been a pleasure and an honor. Now, we will move on. I don't know if somebody from our panel would like to share a final comment. Ms. Kotadaki or Ms. Tami or Mr. Lazaropoulos, would you like to share some of your a final comment?
I think we have already brought out the most important things, which are that it is in the teacher's hands to prepare future citizens who are facing the world with equality, optimism, will for understanding each other, and above all, multiple type of competences, so that we may all proceed to the same collective growth.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Kotadaki. Now, let me just, since we have the time, let me just share the, let me just share the final points of our presentation that have to do with the five takeaways. Remember that our five takeaways focus on creativity, empowering our students to be creative, because they've got lots of creativity. They come to school enthusiastic about school, and they want to be active members of their classroom. So we focus on creativity, we focus on collaboration. As early as the first grade of primary school and the preschool years, we focus on communication in the class, communication with other classes on a national level, and communication with classes from around the world on a European level through eTwinning, and on a global level through the global projects that we have taken part in, the Goals project and the Climate Action project. We focus on critical thinking, on empowering our students to think critically, think deep about what they learn. And remember that these four are the four core skills of the 21st century skills. We focus on digital competency. They have to be responsible users of digital technology. They are digital natives, remember, so they have to develop their digital competency as skillfully and as at the best result they can get. We focus on media literacy. We are overwhelmed by media nowadays, so we have to think critically about media, and we have to help our students develop this responsibility, develop the skills to be responsible media users and media creators, because everyone creates media, and we help our students create media responsibly, and in order to communicate with other people and to communicate messages to other people. We focus on STEM activities, robotics, coding, because this actually helps the creative mind, helps the habits, the creative habits of the mind. So we try to embed activities in our program, in our school program. We focus on environmental issues like the climate change that we presented a little bit some minutes ago. We focus on intercultural communication, on cultural awareness. We should help our learners learn their culture, respect their culture, not only their culture, but other cultures as well. So develop multicultural respect. Respect diversity and promote an inclusive learning environment, inclusive societies. We focus on a democratic culture at school because we want to promote a sustainable future for our learners. And we encourage learning by doing through cooperative activities in all subjects, through authentic learning, and through innovative practices. So I would like again to thank all the members of our panel. Thank you, Marianthi. Thank you, Ms. Kotadaki. Thank you, Ekaterini. Thank you, Ms. Tsami. Thank you, Mr. Spiros Lazaropoulos. Thank you, Spiro. Huge thanks to Vika Spota, Kirsten Thompson, all the amazing T4 community. And remember that if we have strong schools, we have strong societies. Don't forget that we will be very happy to connect with you. You can access our website, our Twitter accounts, and we will finish with a video message from the T4 community and our sponsors. Dear all, have a very good day. Stay safe, everyone. A huge farewell, greetings from all our school, from more than 30 people that are working now at school and would love to come and share their knowledge and expertise with you. Goodbye from us all. Thank you for participating and looking forward to future collaborations. The recorded message will, I don't know, do we have any questions? No, we don't have any questions. So goodbye, everyone. Have a very good day.
Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.